Okay, we should be going live. What is up, everyone? This is AndresRestart, and as usual, I am joined by my good friend Brandon from WhatAboutNintendo. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing great. Just finished a good cup of coffee. Got this chocolate bar with mint in the middle. It's amazing. So I'm ready to go for a good old podcast tonight, man.
I just have a bottle of water.
Bottle of water is also good. Probably healthier than what I had.
Yeah, well,
to be honest.
This may be healthy, but everything else I've been having has not been. So
you gotta balance it out.
Yeah. So we have a lot to talk about today, guys. Lots and lots of stuff. So I'm just gonna go over briefly the outline, right? So we're gonna be talking about the Nintendo Direct January 11 rumor. We're gonna be talking about the 5.0 Nintendo Switch firmware update rumor. We're gonna be talking about Nintendo Switch selling over 10 million units worldwide, and also being the fastest selling console in U.S. history across all platforms up to this point. You know, in terms like the 10-month period.
Yeah.
Also, more rumors about Metroid Prime 4 and Bayonetta 3 making it out in 2018, and also a whole bunch of Pokemon Switch, Unreal, and other 2018 potential rumors for that game as well. So we got a lot of rumors, some interesting, you know, milestone marks for Nintendo on the Switch. Lots to talk about, and yeah, so I'm not sure where to start. I guess I'll just say hello to LSU Cyndaquil, the biggest baller. How's it going, buddy? What's up, Son Gohan? How you guys doing tonight? I'm pretty excited myself personally, just saying, because like first live discussion on my channel of the year, and the last discussion we had from 2017 has been by far the most successful live discussion we've had on the channel. In terms of podcasts, they rarely get even over 100 views, but this last one is coming in close. It's approaching 700 views, lots of likes, a few comments. You know, that one seems to have had some decent outreach, so it's really cool, guys. So, you know, if you want to help this video compete with that one, give this video a like, share it with your friends. Hopefully it'll do pretty well, because I love... Yes, obviously getting views is awesome, right? But to me, it's really special because that means we're reaching out to more people. More people are hearing our opinions, and we're having an impact, you know? And more people are getting in on the fun, and that's what's awesome and special about this. So, yeah, I'm excited for a lot of reasons, but just, you know, kind of giving you guys an update on the podcast. So, Brandon, about yourself, is there anything in particular you want to talk about before we get into, you know, the outline?
Oh gosh, today's been weird. Today, I don't like the day. I wish I could restart today, except this podcast part. This is like the breath of fresh air from all the hell I had to go through. Finding out that the fan I just ordered was the wrong one, having to go find out which one was the right one, reordering that for my PC, trying to play this game that I got a free key for. It was not good. It's not good. So, wasting a lot of time essentially is what happened. And then, but this is the breath of fresh air from that. So, it's a new starting point.
Yeah.
Have a great time here. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're also kind of, me, Brandon, and Sean are having a little bit of a subscriber race. We're racing to 1,000. That it's my fault. I pressured him into that. But we're doing pretty well. I had a big viral video, so I'm kind of catching up.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot more subs lately than I have. But I haven't been doing bad. So yeah,
I mean, you took a break.
Yeah, I took a huge break. So semi-willingly, semi-unwillingly. So I'm getting back into it, though. So
yeah, man.
Hopefully that ramps everything up. Yeah.
Gold balls out.
But you've been doing really good. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, but you know, we'll see what happens. It's cool stuff. So I guess let's just jump into discussion. So for anyone who's watching who hasn't seen this before, when I do have a set outline, I do go after the video, after it's been uploaded, I will set, you know, links to each topic. So if you're only interested in a particular topic, check the description, check the pinned comment. You will see links to each topic, you know, actual, like, timestamps. So just so you guys know, for whoever's watching this in the future. Now, I guess we could get started.
Future.
Let's first talk about the Nintendo Direct that is supposedly coming January 11th, this Thursday. This is being recorded on a Monday night, and The rumor is this Thursday, January 11th. So normally what that would mean is I expect an announcement to happen tomorrow. So will it happen tomorrow? I don't know. I think it will, and it's gonna happen sooner or later. But if it is gonna be on Thursday, I believe the announcement will be tomorrow. What do you think, Brandon? Do you think this rumor is legit? Do you think it's happening this week, or do you think that it's sometime later in January, if at all?
Yeah, when we did our predictions, I predicted it would be the second week of January. So of course this fits with what I was saying. So, and I believe, depending on when it is Thursday for us, I believe that's Friday in Japan actually. So that would make sense because they typically do this kind of stuff on like right before the weekend. So it would make sense if it was on this Thursday for us. So okay. I definitely could see it happening. I think I could see it happening for sure. If it would announce tomorrow, that makes sense. Personally, I would have liked it to have been announced like a week in advance, but this is Nintendo. I don't know, for whatever reason, they just like pushing announcements just as far back as they can. I don't know if they just want to keep us in suspension or something, like anticipation. I don't know. Maybe it raises up the hype levels or something. I don't know. Yeah. But I'm just like on the edge of my seat, like watching Twitter, like waiting for them to announce it.
We're all like checking every day. Did you guys see the fake Twitter announcement from Nintendo, not of America, not Nintendo, talking about the Nintendo Direct coming this Thursday? Like, it was weird to me because one, it almost looked legit, but obviously at Nintendo, but also it was in black text, and normally they show red text. That's like Nintendo's new theme now, red, right? And they also said 2 hours of news information. To me, that's just weird. 2 hours is not how Nintendo does their directs. They're usually faster paced, more concise, especially as of late. They've gotten better at presenting their directs. They're more concise now. So I expect it to be kind of more like what we got at E3, how that was it was kind of short, but there's lots of announcements in that short span. So that's what I'm expecting here. So 30 minutes with a lot of announcements. That's what I'm thinking. Not 2 hours. Also, I would never ever have direct announcements during the weekend. That doesn't happen, ever.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm in agreement with this. No, it's fine. I kind of cut you off as well. I didn't realize you were not completely done. But anyways, I actually, luckily for me, I did not see this before you tweeted about it. So fortunately, I didn't like get my hype levels up too much or something.
Oh yeah, a lot of people still believe it. Some people just saw it like, oh, that's real. Okay, cool. It's not real.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so for anyone who is still not aware, the Nintendo Direct has not been announced yet. If you saw something from Twitter saying that it was announced, that was a prank. It's not real. It was pretty well done, but it's not real. So, I mean, I still expect it to happen on Thursday,
like an N in a
right?
comment.
So, no harm, no foul, probably. Maybe, we'll see. It should be announced tomorrow if it is going to happen this week. So, we'll find out. But anyways, shout-outs to Vooper as well and KRS2. How you guys doing? What looks horrible on YouTube, Vooper? Is it the stream? Is it the quality? Is it my face? Is it Brandon's face? Is it
not
Tyra?
My face? Not my beautiful face.
No. Also, yeah, KRS2. I love Sunshine HD. I wonder if that have anything to do with Virtual Console, which actually brings us to our next point. The 5.0 Nintendo Switch firmware update includes Virtual Console compatibility, so then, hey, that kind of means maybe, you know, is that real? Like, have you guys seen the 5.0 firmware update? Like, I'm assuming you guys have seen it. You may not.
I still haven't seen it. I've seen most. I know what most of it is. So I never actually went back and watched the video. But yeah, I've seen screenshots and stuff, so I know essentially what it is. I know enough.
So let me try to give a rundown from what I remember. It's a quick 1-minute video, but there's a lot of stuff that the supposed leaked beta of the 5.0 update has. One, it has all the streaming apps, you know, Crunchyroll, YouTube, Twitch, Hulu, all that, Netflix, all that good stuff. It has you can plug in your microphones now, your headsets, Bluetooth. Like, you can actually, it's compatible with legitimate voice chat, not some rink-a-dink mobile Splatoon crap. Like, it's legit. You can create rooms. There's account systems. Like, like, you can put on themes. Like, like everything. Like you can put like the Breath of the Wild background now, and there's gonna be themes, there's gonna be virtual console. So basically every single complaint and desire that people have been speaking about or talking about for the Nintendo Switch operating system is in this firmware update, supposedly. Now, a lot of people don't believe it because it seems like it's too good to be true. However, it is incredibly realistic. It looks just like the firmware update. It is very well done. But there have been a few things that people have noticed that lead people to believe that it can't be true. For example, one being that the Mario, they saw some, also cloud storage is supposedly going to be there too, if this is real. Which is great for saves and carrying it over to your different accounts and such. But, so, there's this whole Mario Kart thing where they saw the data of the Mario Kart, how it was actually in the hardware of the Switch and not like an actual cartridge, which meant the memory that was available on the Switch was it didn't match up, which is kind of weird. But also there was apparently one other thing I'm forgetting about. It's slipping my mind. I literally tweeted about it earlier too, so I can't remember. But regardless, the point is, these things do make it seem weird, but we have to remember, right, that if this is actually a leak, this is a leak of the update in beta form before it's gone public. So when things aren't public yet, there are some pieces of information, things that aren't going to match up, because this is a thing, something still in development. They're still messing around with things. There are going to be things within it that don't make sense. Actually, now I remember now what was the other thing that people were pointing out. The YouTube logo is an old YouTube logo. Except here's the thing, on the PlayStation 4, they use the old YouTube logo. So I mean,
I was about to say that.
That's not a good argument, because if the PS4 does it and it's an old YouTube logo, they're probably going to use the same setup on the Switch or something similar. So it's not a valid argument. And on top of that, the whole beta argument that I just made would still counter that as well. So it's really hard to say if it's real or not, because it looks so legit, but at the same time, it is too good to be true. Like, it just seems too awesome for it to all happen immediately, right? So, it's kind of weird. But here's the other thing. There are some websites out there that are saying that this has been debunked already. Like, Nintendo Life literally was saying that this has been debunked. And then you go and and I saw a whole bunch of people believing, oh, it's debunked. Nintendo Life said it's debunked. Okay, so it's not real. But did they go and read the article? No. If you go and read the article, all they say is, oh, Mario Kart memory issue, oh, YouTube logo. There actually was no source confirmation at all. So hashtag fake news. I called them out on Twitter.
Oh my gosh, that is such fake news.
And it's kind of bad, because I don't know if you guys know, but I'm pretty sure Nintendo Life is like a subsidiary of Eurogamer, which is also has a part to do Digital Foundry. So they've had multiple articles and videos that have come out the last week that have had inaccurate information. So yeah,
they're on a roll of just bad journalism. Apparently. I don't know what their deal is.
Oh, so I'm now just looking at the chat. What's up, Victory? How you doing? Yeah, I saw. We'll talk about some of the potential leaks, Victory, in a little bit. Wait, Blackstar Dude's leaving? Oh, okay. Well, oh yeah, the eyes emote. I guess I see what you're saying, Vooper. That could be a little weird. Yeah, and like I said, guys, while I'm talking about all the different like arguments here, I wouldn't place my money on this leak being real, but it's very realistic. So I have to give it consideration, and it's really cool. But I wouldn't put my money on it. But it has not been debunked. So if anyone's saying it has, it technically hasn't. Not yet. I did see the... I did hear about the font thing, though. So I haven't seen where the font is. I looked at the video again. I still didn't notice. So if any of you guys have seen that, point it out. I would love to check that out later. Yeah. What's up, Sean? How you doing, man? What's up, Lil Will the Deity? How you doing? Oh, Jerry Totten. Yeah, Crunchyroll Twitter, I know. Wait, check Crunchyroll Twitter? Is something else coming up? Not sure. I'll have to check later. So, yeah, Brandon, what do you think of this?
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely the YouTube logo means nothing. I mean, if the PS4 has it, then it means nothing. As far as the Mario Kart 8 storage issue, I'm still not exactly sure what's up with that, so I'm not sure how real or, how much that could have an impact. Whether it could just be a glitch or something that's different, because it's a beta firmware. I'm not sure if that's, a confirmation that this is real or not. As far as thinking it's too good to be true, I don't know about that, because it's not like they're
Well,
adding anything that's
the
super hard to
reason
add.
it's too good to be true for a lot of people is that it's a lot of fixes immediately. Like, these are all things we expect to come, but not all in one shot. And normally,
That's also true.
Normally updates come in small pieces. You know, like we'll get this, and then a few months later we'll get this. Like, I would expect this to maybe be like where the Switch will be by the end of the year, right?
Maybe.
But
I wonder if they want to show off the firmware update in the Direct.
Right.
Like, have it as a big thing. Maybe this is the big, start of the year update, and they want to make it,
right. Or
big
maybe
update or
that's
something.
the plan for where they want the Switch to be, right? And there'll be updates leading up to it throughout the year. That's also a possibility.
Yeah, because we don't know if all that stuff works or not completely. They showed some of it being there, but that doesn't mean it's without bugs.
Right, exactly.
So, assuming this is true, some of that stuff could not be fully ready to implement.
Another argument that I'm going to make right now, right, is that we didn't get that many updates for the Switch operating system, in my opinion. Like, I don't think they did. I feel like they barely did anything, considering the amount of time it's been out already. So maybe they've been really focusing on just getting it all ready. They just done minor updates, but they have one big major update that they're going to do, and it might be this. That's a possibility. Is it going to happen? Like I said, I don't really know. It seems really... I would love to have all this immediately, but we'll see what happens. And I mean, I think the thing that is really special about the supposed update is, well, one, the cloud saves. That's not everything. That's not everyone has been expecting the cloud saves. Like, that would be really cool. But also, the way the operating system looks, it looks like it actually has like some decent networking features, which is not something Nintendo's known for. We'll see what happens. I mean, after all, we're going to be paying online for the Switch this time, so you have to think that it has to be their best online setup yet, because we're putting money into it. Maybe we'll see what that... Maybe it'll be detailed in the Direct this Thursday, hopefully, if the rumors are true.
I mean, it's supposed to be early 2018, so unless they're delaying paid online again, I don't see how they could not talk about this. But yeah, shout out to Jerry Toad in the comments. Apparently, Crunchyroll's Twitter has been talking about the Switch lately. Ooh. So that seems suspicious. Maybe we're getting Crunchyroll on the Switch soon.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. That's more proof.
That'd be dope.
Snowman's asking the thing. Brandon just said it. Well, Jerry Toad said it. Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. I'm gonna have to go and check Crunchyroll's Twitter now. That's just like, it's weird because we're seeing Crunchyroll in this little media leak. Now they're talking about it. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if Nintendo has intentional leaks. Like, I felt like it was so weird that Eurogamer was able to have a pretty much spot-on report for what the NX was months before they announced it. Like, and Nintendo didn't say anything. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't covered up. There wasn't any backlash. Like, not from corporate companies, just people talking trash. Like, I wonder if Nintendo sometimes has intentional leaks. Like, maybe this 5.0 update was intentional. To kind of hype people up, get the talking, people arguing. Like, maybe Nintendo understands that we argue about these things on the internet, and that just creates more conversation, more talk, more awareness, more interest in this supposed Direct. I really feel like sometimes that's what they do. What do you think, Brandon?
Yeah, that could definitely be the case, because as you said, like, when they showed off the Switch, it wasn't, oh, look at that feature, I'm surprised. No, it was like, oh, that's how that works. Oh, that's how that looks. We already knew. So it was just like, oh, that's how they're doing this idea that Eurogamer already told us about. Because obviously, if you hear about a rumor, seeing it in person is completely different. But I don't know, unless they have some kind of source, but then... I mean, you'd think people would be scared with the NDAs and stuff, but I don't know. Maybe people are just thinking they can get away with it. Maybe Nintendo's intentionally trying to leak it in the system. But at that point, why not just reveal it? I don't see the... I guess it kind of drums up hype or something, maybe, I guess. Because the rumor mill can drum up some serious hype, depending on what the rumors are. So maybe that's their intention, and they wanted to do it that way, but it's hard to say.
I legitimately think that there are some leaked rumors out there, because think about it, we're talking about rumors now, like, we're hyped up about this is getting more people aware about the potential Direct coming up. I think there's something to this. I've heard about Verve. I checked it out on my PS4. I didn't like the layout of it, so I just went back to using Crunchyroll. But I'll probably give Verve another shot. I don't know. Verve is like, I know for you guys who don't know, Verve VRV is like this new like media platform where you can watch a whole bunch of stuff on it. It's like compounds like different like other streaming apps like Rooster Teeth, Crunchyroll, like a lot of other smaller programs are all combined together to become one sort of like really massive, very internet culture like aware like streaming platform. It's interesting. I just didn't like the layout on my PS4, so I stopped using it. But I'll have to check it out again. So do you have any more thoughts on the 5.0 firmware update, or should we move on to the next topic?
I guess to sum up my thoughts, I really hope it's true, but I'm kind of like wary of it. I don't know. I don't really ever full ham go for these kind of leaks because there's been so many times where like that's gonna happen and it just didn't. So okay. I'd say while it's convincing, I don't take pretty much any leaks seriously completely. But I do hope that they show off a lot of this stuff because a lot of it I'm interested in, especially things like cloud saves.
Yeah, most of
very
these
nice
things are going to come eventually. Some of these things we'll see. Like it's a big maybe. Yeah, KRS2 does. This is what he said. I don't think Nintendo leaked it. While it was convincing, it was extremely unpolished with a bad Zelda theme. Well, it's a good point, but also let's keep in mind that if it is real, it's a beta, so it is supposed to be unpolished. It's not finished yet.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah. Why 5.0? I think that's just the updated version because they've already updated multiple times already. That's where they just would be in terms of the series of updates. Sun Gohan. Alright, I'll see you in a bit, Cyndaquil. Wasn't the Switch allegedly hacked? This is what Lowell did, isn't he? I'm gonna read the whole comment now. Wasn't the Switch allegedly hacked? I'm counting on it being fake, but that could be convincing to a lot of people. I heard, yeah, apparently the homebrew scene is really brewing up. So maybe that could be something there. Yeah, that's an interesting point actually. So if the Switch is already hacked, then they could probably, it would be a lot easier to fabricate, you know, something that looks like a huge firmware update. It's a great point actually. So props to you, Lil They Deity. That I didn't even think about that. So who knows? I guess regardless if it's fake or not, we're gonna find out soon. I think if we don't hear about it in the Direct, I'd say it's fake. But we're gonna get most of these features anyways. But the network features and the cloud saving, those are things I'm not sure we'll get. I hope we do. They could make the Switch a lot better. So let's move on to the next topic, I guess, right? Nintendo Switch sells over 10 million. The Switch has sold over 10 million worldwide. It's really close to the Wii already, and it's also the fastest selling console in US history. That is special, man. Like, yeah, that's pretty good. It's literally outperforming the Wii right now, and the PS2, which is crazy in the US.
It's insane.
In the US, let me be clear. In the US, it's selling faster. I don't know about the rest of the world in terms of the history of things. But
as far as I know, it's selling at least close to the fastest selling in Japan. I believe it's past the PS2 first 10 months as well. So I believe it's the fastest in Japan and America, but non-Europe.
Right.
Europe's never been big on Nintendo for some reason.
Yeah, they're just never been that good. They've never been good in Europe.
They're just weird. Europeans are weird.
They don't like Nintendo. I think
they
part
differ
of that
with
has to do with, I think in Europe there's like FIFA's huge in Europe, and Nintendo's kind of struggled in terms of multi-platform games, and that having the best version of FIFA, you know, that ain't gonna help you. It really won't. So it's one of quite a few reasons why Nintendo's not as strong in Europe. Just going back to a couple comments, KRS2 saying, I honestly think Nintendo Switch has the potential to outsell the Wii. And John Kotovich, he's saying, actually this is going back to a previous topic, he thinks that the 5.0, I'm assuming he's talking about the 5.0 update, he thinks it's real, He thinks it's got a strong. He has a strong gut feeling about it. So, I really want it to be real. I want it to be real, but we'll see. So, but yeah, man, it's pretty special how well the Switch is selling. What do you, Brandon? Do you think this is going to continue? Do you think the momentum is going to continue, or are things going to maybe slow down a little bit?
I think that, I don't know, they're planning to sell 20 to 30 million units next year, so I think that actually has the potential to increase in momentum if they can get these games out soon, sooner rather than later. Metroid, Pokemon, you know, Bayonetta 3, these kind of games, they can get them out quicker. If third parties can jump on board and really get into the Switch and really start making some great games for it, even more so than they already have been, I think it has the potential to grow even more, because Nintendo has the strongest first-party lineup. The thing that they've been lacking for the longest time is third-party games. So if they can have both the strongest first-party lineup and a very strong third-party lineup, they're unbeatable. They're indestructible. They're amazing in that sense. So,
so like, I guess, you know, just going to the question, like, will the momentum continue? I think it's gonna be their biggest challenge. If they can do that, if they can put the Switch in a position, I think the Switch is pretty much guaranteed to be a successful system. Like, Nintendo's gonna make money on it, but where will it rank in terms of, you know, the best-selling systems? And I think it does have the potential to outsell the Wii and the PS2.
Yeah.
And the DS, you know, all of them. But
my problem with that is I just don't know how long this generation is going to last for Nintendo, because they came in such a weird spot right in between generations. So depending on when the next consoles are launched, depending on all that stuff, if third-party companies start leaping in technology too fast, it may force Nintendo to come out with a new version of the Switch to get third-party support, to continue getting third-party support. So I think it depends on excuse me. I think it depends on how long this generation lasts, because the Wii, you gotta remember, the Wii had the longest generation. That generation was the longest one.
The Wii should not have been in that generation, bro.
No, it shouldn't.
The Wii should have died like after 3 years.
So should have.
4. Okay, I'm exact.
Yeah.
4. Like once, like Skyward Sword should have come out in 2010 with Donkey Kong Country Returns, because once Donkey Kong Country Returns came out in 2010 for the Wii, there was nothing for a whole.
Yeah.
We literally waited for a whole year for one good Nintendo game, and that was Skyward Sword. It was a good Nintendo game. Don't get me wrong. I like Skyward Sword. But it was also a Zelda game that was probably the most divisive Zelda that ever came out. Like,
yeah,
a lot of fans didn't like the motion controls. You know, I thought they were good, but they were also still motion controls. So, you know, but yeah.
Yeah. If Nintendo can get their, 20 to 30 million a year, I think that grows fast. I mean, they already had 10
Before you
million,
continue your point, though, I think your point's important. There's a comment I said that goes with what we're talking right now. Alex Toussaint, I hope I got your last name right. He was saying that a year ago, Nintendo predicted that they would be selling 40 million Switch by 2020. With what we know now, do you think it's doable? To that point,
I think they're going to smash that number.
Right. I actually think by this point, like, they were really conservative a year ago. They were coming off the Wii U. They were very conservative and they were trying to be cautious. Now they've updated it multiple times, their expectations. They've raised it multiple times since then. So I definitely think Nintendo believes that they're going to smash the 40 million mark.
Oh, for sure.
I also think that's going to happen. I mean, the Switch is already over 10 million now. We're not even in a year, and Nintendo plans to sell 20 million units in the next fiscal year. So that's just from 2018 to early 2019.
Yeah,
and
another point,
year or so.
And another point is the 10 million, even though we got that, excuse me, I don't know, but something stuck in my throat. Anyways, we got that news relatively, not that long ago, but the news itself is actually from numbers that are like 1 or 2 months old. So this isn't, like, it hit 10 million, but it hit 10 million like a month ago, and we're just now hearing about it. And Nintendo is already set to easily sell 16 million units by March in just its first year. That's halfway almost to 40 million. and it has 2 more years until 2020. So I think it's easily going to hit maybe even 60 million by 2020. So it's hard to say, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely it's going to be past 40 million, though, for sure. So go on. You're saying some stuff about 3DS games, and there's a topic that I forgot to mention that I think we're going to talk about in a little bit. But I want to stick to this topic first. I'm actually seeing some comments. KRS2 saying that he thinks we're going to get Yoshi in spring, Kirby in summer, Bayonetta 3 in fall. I like that prediction. I hope it's true. And then either Metroid or Pokemon for winter. Someone wants Pokemon really bad. Oh, an HD remake of Zelda this year? Okay, let's talk about this topic now, okay? Because we're gonna come back to the topic we're at now. There's something I want to talk about, and that is the... Well, that's gonna be bad for the timestamps. It's fine. So, have you guys heard about the rumor about the 3D remaster for, I believe, Link's Awakening on
Yes.
the 3DS? So, supposedly, there's a rumor going around from pretty decent sources, by the way, that I think their name's Grezzo, or Grezzo, the development team that developed Ocarina of Time 3D, Majora's Mask 3D, and Ever Oasis is making supposedly another 3DS game, and that is a complete reimagining for Link's Awakening. And from what we're hearing, it's going to be like in 3D, it's going to be the biggest, vastest handheld Zelda ever. So I'm thinking it's going to be in the style of like a 3D, like Ocarina of Time 3D, Majora's Mask style Zelda game, but with the Link's Awakening storyline. That could be really, really cool, and that would make me buy a 3DS again after selling mine. I have a capture card 3DS, but I don't like using that for like playing personally. Like I would probably have to get a new 2DS XL if that thing is real. That would be insane. So I don't think an HD remake of a Zelda game is coming. Snowman, I think that what's gonna happen is this rumor. Maybe I mean, if I had to pick, I would say this rumor is true, and that they're gonna have one more big 3DS game, and it's gonna be this remaster, reimagining Link's Awakening. I think it's kind of like what they did with Metroid: Samus Returns this year, well, last year. They're gonna remake another old game in 3D in a very awesome way, and I think it's gonna be Link's Awakening, which is, it's relative. It's easier to make than a full-on new game, but it still kind of counts as a full-on new game. What do you think, Brandon?
Yeah. Personally, if they announce this, I'm gonna be pissed.
I'll pissed
I do not.
They're gonna make me buy another 3DS.
Yeah, stop. Just stop, Nintendo. Stop it with making these good 3DS games. What have you been doing lately? Making games that actually make me want to buy your system again. Just stop it. Don't do that. I have my Switch here. I don't want to play on that 240p screen, that tiny 240p screen anymore. I want to play on my Switch, on my TV and on the go, and with high resolutions. It's just, I feel like
they could also do something where
they keep annoying me every time. They could. That's definitely true. I mean, I don't care if they start releasing 3DS ports, but the only thing they did is upscale them to 1080p. I do not care. Just let me play them on not the 3DS, please.
I
don't ask for much.
I guess it's one of those things where, like, it's also kind of a bit of a marketing issue, though, because here's the thing. If they were to make this game for 3DS, and then they were just to clean up the textures and slap it into HD mode and put it on the Switch at the same time, I know a lot of people will look at that and be like, oh, that's the Switch Zelda? Oh, that's not, it looks limited, it looks primitive by comparison. So that could give the Zelda brand a bit of a hit, and the Switch brand a bit of a hit in that way. I know that may sound a bit graphics horsey of me, but I think it matters. I think in terms of presentation and marketing and brand, it matters. So I don't think they're just gonna rip the 3DS game and put it onto Switch, like, especially when it's something like Zelda, right? So, like, unless
unfortunately, that is probably very true.
So more likely, if they probably will have a Link's Awakening coming out for 3DS. Keep in mind, Link's Awakening is a remake, so it's not like you can't play Link's Awakening. Well, I mean, it's a reimagining, really, because if it's in 3D, it's basically, gameplay-wise, it's going to be a completely new game. Which is story-wise, it's going to be the same as Link's Awakening. It's Nintendo pulling a fast one on us and forcing us to buy 3DSs again. I wish it came out on Switch, but you know, it does make sense from a business perspective, so I can't blame them because that's just the logical thing to do, even though, I mean, whatever, I still want it, you know?
I say just make it for the Switch and then downgrade it and put it on the 3DS. That's what they should do.
That's what you want them to do.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I purely biased opinion of completely unbusiness related or thinking of any kind of thing for Nintendo. Just do that, please.
Yeah. It's...
I wanted the 3DS to die as soon as the
I wanted
Switch
the 3DS to die a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
When I played Metroid Samus Returns, I made a review about it, and I was like, look, this is the 3DS swan song. Everything else that's after it doesn't count. And it came with Ultra Sun and Moon, which I did not buy. I may buy it in a few months.
I heard it was pretty mediocre in some aspects. So.
It's not mediocre. It's good. It's just, if you played the previous Pokemon game, Sun and Moon, there's not that much new to it. So unless you're a hardcore Pokemon fan, you may not want to double dip. Well, there's not technically double dip.
I heard it also kind of messes with the characters and makes them not as good as they were before. Like they changed personalities and characters, then then people were upset.
So it's almost like an alternate universe, you know, like
in some ways it's really weird.
Yeah,
but it doesn't work.
Yeah, but
from what I've listened to the discussions and stuff. So
no, I was just responding to KRS2's comment that there's definitely the Switch Zelda's in development. The Switch Zelda has nothing to do with the supposed rumor from Grezzo developing Link's Awakening. They're two separate entities. Grezzo's not even the Zelda team, so just keep that in mind. Which is why it works out. Grezzo has experience remaking Zelda games. Assuming this rumor is true, it would work out because they have experience making 3DS, cool-looking 3D Zelda games, and they don't have to remake a new story or anything like that. The structure of the game already exists because it's a remake of Link's Awakening. Same thing that happened with Metroid Samus Returns. Like, the team that was making that didn't have as much experience, you know, with making really good Nintendo games, but all they had to do was Nintendo watch over them a little bit, outsource team. You know, they already had the blueprint for a good game with Metroid 2, you know? So it's kind of like an easy way to create a good 3DS game without investing a lot of resources. Because the 3DS is on its last legs. It's been on its last legs forever. I want it to be done already. But if this rumor is true,
I want it to be done like 2 years.
I'm going to be playing it this year. Assuming the rumor is true, we'll see what happens.
I have to buy a $200 system just to play this game.
Yeah.
Please. I'll probably just borrow someone else's that I know. That's probably what will happen. But still, it's upsetting. It's annoying, but business is business and whatever. Town's got to make money or whatever.
Well,
I still think it would probably sell better on the Switch, though. I mean, like, games that have been coming out on 3DS, even good games like Metroid Samus Returns, excuse me. Apparently, it didn't even sell that well. Like, it didn't sell that great. I think games on 3DS just aren't selling as well because people are buying things on the Switch instead. So I think if they just... I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense for the people who already have a 3DS, but at the same time, the Switch's software is selling so much, and that's where you make your money. You make it off of software. So, and since it's on the Switch, they can probably charge more for it because 3DS games are just cheaper. So I don't know completely if it's a great business decision or not.
Well, Lil Will the Day is making a very similar point. He literally says, putting the Zelda name on the Switch again would boost sales, though no matter the formula, that is guaranteed. While the brand hit isn't so much a risk that I guess isn't so that risk might be very worth it to it may be very worth it to Nintendo. Sorry, like, you know, maybe you guys are right. But we'll see what actually happens. I think in order to make consumers happy, you release the game on the 3DS and the Switch. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. I also just noticed that Joshua Jones, what's up, man? This is what he said. Hey guys, 3DS games sales are in the tank right now. A few articles are online about poor sales for newer games. Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon sold nearly 2 million first week on the market. Is that bad or good for Pokemon? I'm not sure.
Compared to the original Sun and Moon, it's not as good, but it's definitely not bad.
Well, 2 million in the first week is really good for most games.
But it's Pokemon, so no matter what they
Yeah.
do, it's gonna sell.
Yeah,
Let's be honest here.
yeah. So, but still,
And it's got
I
the
mean,
Ultra Sun and Moon name.
I do think that it
You
is
put Sun
going
and Moon in
down.
there, it's gonna sell. Yeah. That's pretty much the only thing that sold well in the 3DS this last year. Pretty much all of the sales were below expectations from what I've seen, the sales numbers. So, and I don't think Link's Awakening has the brand of Pokemon. I mean, Zelda just doesn't have that, and especially not as a remake of an older game, even though... And Link's Awakening's not even that popular of a Zelda game. Like, there's a lot of Zelda fans who don't even really know what Link's Awakening is, even though it's a great game, and I'd love to play a remake of it. But a lot of it's just not that... It's not that popular. When you think of Zelda, most people don't think of Link's Awakening. So...
Does anyone...
I don't know.
Brandon, do you know what's going on here? Retro Potato and Little Boy the Data are saying, I know the way... I will show you the way. You are not ready for the way. Buddha. Where is this from?
I have
What is
no
this?
idea.
What is this,
Dude,
guys?
I'm not hip with the kids anymore, man. I don't know the memes. I'm not the
gaming's
meme
like,
lord.
gosh darn memes! Like, I don't know what's going on.
It's awesome, whatever it is. It's
Yeah,
pretty dope.
I mean, it's not bad, I just don't know what it is. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess kind of bringing the conversation back a little bit, right? So, Zelda may be coming on 3DS, but just kind of thinking about other games that will be coming out this year. I know there's rumors for Grand Theft Auto on the Switch, Dark Souls 3 on the Switch. I've made the argument that Soul Calibur 6 could be announced at some point for the Switch as well. The third-party games are going to be coming on the Switch, which kind of... I don't know if Nintendo needs to come out with as many big Nintendo games this year because the third-party support is going to be better this year. One would think. But if Nintendo can pull off the Pokemon, Smash Bros., Pikmin 4, Metroid, Bayonetta 3, Fire Emblem, Super Hyper Whammy year, with all those games come out in the same year, then I mean it's kind of ridiculous when you think about it, right? Like we're all assuming there's Animal Crossing, Pikmin 4, Fire Emblem, Yoshi, Kirby, Metroid, Bayonetta 3, Pokemon. Like that's 8 games. Whatever, my math. There's like 8 games that are...
Do you even math, bro?
I don't know. Like 5 or 6 of them are like huge AAA, super ginormous games. They probably don't need to come out with all of them. But at the same time, like people are sort of thinking that Nintendo may have like an almost like one big major game every month. So it's hard to say.
Yeah. And I think there still could be some franchises that they might pull games from still. I mean, you never know. They did say, you know what they did say, that does not include, they said they wanted to bring back older titles, kind of more unknown series. They wanted to go into their backlog and start bringing out games from older series. And we haven't seen pretty much any of that, so we don't know. There might be a new remake of an old series. Maybe we'll see a new F-Zero game. Maybe we'll see a new...
Don't get my jimmies rustled, okay? Because I would... F-Zero
I don't know, that's what they said. They said they wanted to kind of bring back the older games, and we keep talking about, you know, all these games coming out, but we never really consider the stuff that they haven't shown that they said would be a big focus of this year. So maybe they don't need Pokemon and Metroid and Bayonetta 3 to come out if they have these other games coming out as well. So I think we might see a different story than some people are expecting come this direct.
I think there's a lot of games that Nintendo's going to announce that people had no idea were coming. I think there's going to be surprises. There's definitely going to be surprises.
They have so many IPs that they just haven't used for so long that some people like they would be like, "What is that? I don't know what it is, but it looks cool." So I think they could really bring back. What if they made a Kid Icarus game for the Switch? That'd be so cool.
Stop exciting me.
I can't stop. The hype cannot. The hype train's already going. Man, it's already on.
I would love a Kid Icarus game, bro. I would love a Kid Icarus game. I think that, but I don't think that's a 2018 title. I think that's one of those games that when we think about once Nintendo gets Pokemon, Smash Bros, and like once Nintendo gets all the staples out, then we start looking at what can Nintendo do after that. And then Kid Icarus comes up. You know, a lot of their older IPs start. You know, all of a sudden, oh, maybe we're gonna start doing more things like that. We'll save that for 2019.
Yeah, that might be the case, but they might be wanting to spread out these staple games, because I mean, if you front load all of these games and you're relying on games people don't know as much, that could backfire on you. People don't really start to grasp on these new IPs. There are these new IPs, new to them, stuff like it's a big risk front loading all your big stuff and then relying on stuff people don't know as much. So I think a better way might be to space it out. So you have like some new interesting looking stuff, but then you also got the staples. You got stuff people know that they know this. When they think of Nintendo, they know about this. So I think that's probably the safer bet, because otherwise you might start losing people who are looking for these big things that they recognize and love already. And if you just front load all that and you're just relying on stuff, you're just relying on hoping people catch on to these new ideas, then that might be a risky.
I just saw a funny comment from Pop Slayer. Also, he said, "I'm going to trigger you, Brandon Andres, semicolon, or was that a colon? I can't tell. A colon. I do not yet own Xenoblade 2. Banned.
Hashtag triggered.
What is wrong with you,
triggered.
you scum? No, I'm just
How
kidding.
dare!
It's all good.
You're not the true Nintendo fan.
No,
you do not know the way.
He's good. You're good, man.
Yeah, we're just joking.
Yeah, but I mean, like, everyone's talking in the chat. It's really hard for me to keep it up, but there's a lot of games. I see Byron is talking about wishing for F-Zero. Yeah, I want F-Zero. F-Zero GX is my favorite racing game of all time. I hope at some point during the Switch era we get an F-Zero. Nier Automata, yeah, it's another rumored port coming to Switch this year. There's another game that I heard about. They're apparently going to be making like a new Final Fantasy 15, like basically a port of Final Fantasy 15 with all the port. I think it was like Final Fantasy 15 Royal. It's rumored because it hasn't been officially announced, but ESRB already
it's some ESRB or something.
That would be a great opportunity to have it come out to announce a Switch version to come out of Final Fantasy 15 Royal with the PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, that could be a possibility as well. Yeah. It looks like Sun Gohan is checking out. See you, bro. But yeah, there's.
Personally, I'm gonna get it on PC.
Joshua
even
Jones.
to the
F-Zero
Switch,
GX wasn't a Nintendo game. It was made by Sega. It's still a Nintendo game.
It's still their IP though, so it doesn't have to be remade.
It was
by
published
Sega.
by Nintendo. Sega did help out. It was a collaboration, but F-Zero is a Nintendo IP. Sega helped, I think it was Amusement something. I'm trying to remember the developer, but yeah, they developed the game for them. It was outsourced, but that doesn't mean. Does that mean Star Fox Zero is not a Nintendo game? No, Star Fox Zero it's a bad Nintendo game, but it's still a Nintendo game. It's still a Nintendo game. I will leave to find a way. Bye. What's going on? I don't know what's going on here, man.
DeWay has left us. Or wait, no, he doesn't have DeWay. He's finding it.
Yeah. So let's talk about another rumor though, that kind of goes along with all the potential games that could be coming out in 2018. That is the Metroid Prime 4 and Bayonetta 3 in 2018 rumor. Apparently, there was a Nintendo. I think it was Swedish. It might have been Swedish. I could be getting the country wrong, but there was a foreign to me. Okay, there was an international Nintendo website that listed Metroid Prime 4 and Bayonetta 3 as 2018 titles briefly, and then it was taken down apparently. So people were thinking that maybe these games are coming in 2018, or that it was just a mistake. And this is one of those things where I have to think again. How could they make a mistake like that? How could a Nintendo website put up information like that? It's literally one of those things where I'm just like, this has to be intentional. Like they're just hyping us up. It could really just be a mistake. But I feel like a lot of times these are just mistakes, and they're not really mistakes. They're just trying to hype people up and get people talking. So I don't know. You know what's actually something that's interesting to me? I just realized, Brandon. So we're talking about Metroid, Pokemon, Bayonetta, and we're thinking, oh, these games maybe won't come, especially when you think about the Smash and Animal Crossing coming out. But we're making this assumption that Smash Brothers, Animal Crossing, and Pikmin 4 are coming out in 2018, but we haven't gotten an announcement for them. So what if we're gonna get? What if we do get Pokemon, Metroid, and Bayonetta 3 in 2018, but Smash Brothers, Animal Crossing, and maybe Pikmin 4 aren't not coming out in 2018? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why?
I mean,
but think about it though, right? Like, those games aren't announced yet, but everyone's assuming those games are coming out in 2018. Yet the games that are already announced, everyone's assuming that none of them are going to make it for 2018. You know? So isn't that kind of weird?
That is interesting. Yeah, you make a good point.
Like,
I don't know. I feel like Pikmin 4 is. I don't know. My only thing is, I feel like those games. I don't know. They just feel like they're not as
hard to make.
Yeah, especially Pikmin 4, which is supposed to be done for so long. I mean, why would you keep delaying that? Why? I mean, unless you just have too many games and you want to put it in 2019, but I don't know. I feel like it'd be easier to put in Pikmin and delay another one of those, or put in Smash and delay, or Smash Brothers. I don't know. Smash is interesting. I actually predicted that won't be happening.
I gotta get to the comments because there's a lot of comments. I really appreciate you guys are watching. We're having some good conversation here. But Smash Brothers. How long? When did Smash Brothers for Wii U come out? Like, it's
2015.
2014.
Was it 2014? 2014. I can look it up. Hold on.
I think it was 2014.
I think it was 2014 or 2015. Yeah, because I think Xenoblade Chronicles X was 2015. I think.
Pretty sure. I believe Smash was 2014.
Smash Bros. Wii U. Release.
I believe it was 2014.
I believe so. Yes, it's September 13th, 2014. Nope, that's not September 13th.
So,
either way, it's 2014.
It is? Yeah, so, like, we're already getting to a point where, like, a whole new Smash Bros. Could have been made. Like I've been assuming, oh, they could just, you know, port Smash Bros. But, like, we're already in 2018, you know? So maybe there isn't a Smash Bros. Port coming, and the Smash Bros. We're going to get is like a new Smash Bros., but it's not even going to come out this year. Probably might be a 2019 title, which goes to the point I'm saying, right? We're making these assumptions that games like Animal Crossing and Smash Bros. Are ready to just be shot out, you know? But maybe they haven't been announced for a reason. And Metroid and Pokemon and Bayonetta 3 have. So,
yeah. I think Bayonetta 3...
was just announced.
I think it just announced. I think it has a potential coming out this year or early next year. I think the only thing I can say as for why they were announced earlier and if they're not coming out 2018 for Pokemon, I mean, people had such a backlash when they announced Ultra Sun and Moon instead of Pokemon Stars for Switch. Like, they had to say something at that point, and I feel like there was such hate about Nintendo for Metroid, how they're handling the Metroid series. I think there could have been a big backlash as well if they had just announced, you know, Metroid on the 3DS instead of on the Switch. Because I think people get super upset. I mean, we're getting upset just thinking about Link's Awakening Remake maybe being on the 3DS.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, part of me is upset that it's on the 3DS, but there's like 10% upset, 90%'s like, oh, if this is real, this is going to be the most amazing thing ever. So, like, you know, I just played Zelda. I get to play Zelda again.
Most don't think as logically as we do. They just kind of get upset because things don't go their way. That's just how the mass media works. And the internet, that's just internet culture. So,
I want to get to some of the comments before we continue. Lil the Day is saying that the director of Final Fantasy 15 really loves the Switch. Yes, he does. He's had multiple comments about it, which kind of supports the whole Final Fantasy 15 coming to Switch rumor. Joshua's just picking on us when he's talking about the whole Sega thing. Brandon, apparently you're the queen, which is weird. Tossmi Kimishima, oh, Nintendo CEO, we get another appearance from him. Apparently he's busy though, so he's just stopping by. I do not think it was a travesty that Sega put their mitts on Nintendo IP. I think it was a beautiful relationship, and I hope it happens again. What else is going on here? Oh, Pop Slayer needs to do homework. But he's still going to listen. Right, and Jerry Tone is saying that Bayo, maybe it has been in development longer than some people think, and it doesn't take as long to make as many games. So, yeah, I mean, the thing is that, like, we really don't actually know how long these games have been in development. A lot of people assume that the moment a game is announced, oh, they just started. I mean, that's Mario Odyssey was in development for quite a long time when it was
Yeah.
announced, you know? So, like, you can't really...
Yeah,
You have
they're
no idea.
thinking in this Wii U kind of mindset, or
Where
this
nothing can
PS4
happen.
kind of mindset, where they announce games like as soon as they're being made. Because I mean, what else did they get announced? The Wii U didn't have anything; they had to announce something. And then the PS4, I don't know what they're doing, announcing things like 4 years before they even come out. So I mean, that seems to be, you know, the MO of those other systems. With Nintendo recently has been very different with that. I mean, as you said, Mario Odyssey was announced like the same year it came out. Metroid, Metroid Samus Returns. I don't know why I thought other M. It was announced, what, 3 months before it came out? So ARMS announced like 4 or 5 months before that came out. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe announced about 6 months before that came out. Like, Splatoon 2 announced about 7 months before that came out. Like, they've just been announcing things where they're on their last part of, you know, development. So I think some people are still in this Wii U mindset, or they're looking at the PS4 and see all these delays, and they're in that kind of mindset.
The Arlo
so I think they
mindset.
need to get out of that mindset and get into the new mindset of what Nintendo's
mindset. It's the Arlo mindset.
The Arnold mindset?
I don't know if you guys have watched Arlo.
Arlo mindset.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, is that Arlo? I mean, I think he's a great personality, but like he makes all these predictions, and it's all based off the Wii U. But the Wii U is not what what Nintendo is now. Like I don't think they're good predictions. But yeah, a lot of these games are being announced, and we can't really make assumptions about how long they've been in development. We have no idea, right? But what we do know is that as of late, Nintendo's been announcing games and coming out with them within a year.
Yeah. The only exceptions I could think of, possible exceptions, are for Pokemon and Metroid, for as the reasons I said, because there's such big backlash for Pokemon. I mean, you could almost tell that they recorded that Pokemon segment like a couple of days before they directed to slot it in there because they had to. Like, it felt very pressured, that fan. And I think Reggie himself even said that they announced Metroid Prime 4 before they wanted to, because they didn't want backlash like what happened with when they announced Metroid Prime Federation Force. I'm pretty sure he said something to that effect. So I think there's the possibility that those games are a little bit earlier, but I just still don't think it's going to be 3-4 years before these games comes out. I think it's either 2018 or 2019. I don't think there's any way these games are coming out 2020 or something like that. So no. I think there's a possibility that they announced it a little bit earlier than they wanted to, but I don't think they announced it like way earlier. So I think other than those, that might be a slight exception. They've been pretty much announcing things right before they come out. And we don't even know if that's an exception or not. It could very well be that they come out 2018. So it's just, at this point, it's just, we'll have to wait and see.
All I'm saying is that, so when I was bringing up the Arlo thing, right, I'm not trying to, like, talk flack, but he had his big predictions video. And in his predictions video, basically said the only big Nintendo game coming out is Fire Emblem and Smash Brothers. Which, I mean, those are big games, but, like, Smash Bros. Isn't even announced, right? But Pokemon, made this point already, but think about this for a second. Is it really that realistic to think that Bayonetta 3, Metroid Prime 4, and Pokemon, all games announced last year, right, are not even one of those three is going to make it out in 2018, but a game that has not been announced or mentioned at all will? I just feel like, you know, I feel like at least one of those games has to come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I'm almost completely sure that one of those games is going to come out. If I had to guess, I'd say probably Bayonetta 3 is the biggest chance of coming out 2018.
And that's the one that was announced the most recently. But to some of the points, I know you guys have made the point multiple times that, like, and Brandon, you were saying it too, that Pokemon and Metroid were shown off at E3, and some stipulations are that they were shown off because they wanted to reduce the backlash for Ultra Sun and Moon and Samus Returns. Especially after the whole Federation Force scandal or whatever happened, like, you know, like a couple years ago, where we wanted real Metroid and all we got was Federation Chibi Force. So, I mean, I see that, but I feel like they wouldn't... announce a game that was like so far off, you know, I don't think they would do that. I think, like, yeah, I see what you're saying, and maybe they did speed up the announcement of those games because of the potential backlash, but I don't think, like, if those games were like 2 or 3 years out, I don't think they would have been like, oh, look, we just started development, we're gonna have to put this in there. No, I don't think they would do that. Like, if they were
I definitely don't think
off.
they were just started. I think they were at least 1 to 2 years in development at that point, at least. And I think there's the possibility that, especially Pokemon typically releases either, you know, it can release sometimes early in the year. So I think it could be early 2019 and be a little bit farther from their usual, you know, 1-year window.
Mm-hmm. And for the record, technically, if Pokemon and Metroid Prime were to come out, you know, November and December, right? Like, or October and December, or October and November, like Mario Odyssey and Xenoblade, those games were announced in January, right? Metroid and Pokemon were announced May or June last year. So, like, they were announced way earlier. So it's a year and a half for them, right, for when they're supposedly, if they do make it out, for when they would be coming out this year, right? So there's a larger window for those games compared to Mario and Xenoblade. I'm just putting that out there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I am biased because I want these games to come out this year, but
yeah.
I mean, I understand that they're big games and they may not make it out this year.
Yeah, and you know, like, we say they announced it earlier than they wanted to, or potentially they did. Who knows how much earlier is earlier? Because it could be, you know, 7 months earlier. You know, maybe they wanted to announce it at this event, but they had to announce it at E3 instead. Which is, I mean, considering how small their windows have been, that's a lot earlier. I mean, that's almost, twice as long.
I mean, so then that would fit into it exactly. Like, it would...
Yeah. So I think, to play devil's advocate to myself here, that's definitely a possibility.
For sure. So...
and that just makes it ever harder to know what the hell's happening.
Right, we just can't know. Jordan Rosh wants a 5.0 update to be real. Yeah, me too. I think we all want it to be real. And yeah, Lil they did was saying that he does not believe that Kirby and Yoshi are holding down 2018. So yeah, even if it's not Metroid, Pokemon, or whatever other the games we've been talking about, like Kirby and Yoshi is definitely not all there is. I mean, I know we have Fire Emblem. But there's definitely got to be more big Nintendo games coming out this year. There is no way Fire Emblem is the only big Nintendo game coming out this year. Like, there has to be something else.
And there could definitely be another announcement. I mean, the last one we got Mario announced. Last time we got, you know, Mario Kart announced. We got ARMS announced last big January event. So, I mean, a lot of people think we might have to rely on things that have been already announced, but that's not necessarily the case because they could very easily announce new games coming out this year at this event, just like they did last year.
They could. There's a lot of games, and the thing is, there's a lot of smaller Nintendo games too that they could use. We were sort of talking about it earlier, like there's F-Zero, Wave Race, Mario Strikers, Mario Party. There's more. Mario Tennis. There doesn't have to all just be Mario sports games, but
I really want a nice Mario Party, like a really good Mario Party. That would work so well because I feel like
custom robots.
I feel like there's a few multiplayer games that, unless they do Smash, what other multiplayer games that they really have? I feel like they should bring out like a Mario Party or a good Mario Party or a good Mario Sports game to fill in that multiplayer gap.
Mario Strikers, bro.
Oh, Mario Strikers Charged. I love that.
Yeah, I love that game. That'd be really cool. Is Custom Robo a Nintendo game? Like a first party
Custom
Nintendo
Robo?
game?
I don't know what that is.
Custom Robo came out on the GameCube. I need to double check this.
Chibi Robo?
No, no Chibi Robo. Custom Robo. Or Chibi anything. Although that is another game though, which is interesting, that could come to Switch. And keep in mind, guys, that the Switch is now going to be taking a lot more of what normally would have come out for the 3DS. So there are other potentialities coming out here, especially a lot of RPGs that the 3DS had. Those franchises may start transitioning over to the 3DS. And I mean, I'm pretty sure the Bravely Default team is making Project Octopath Traveler, right? Or am I wrong?
Yes. I know. Yeah, they are. I'm pretty sure. Pretty dang sure. Though.
I do not mean Chibi Robo, guys. I do not mean Chibi Robo.
People were excited when they mentioned they were going to bring Chibi Robo back.
It is a real game that came out on the Nintendo GameCube.
Is it though? You sure?
And yes, Nintendo published it and developed it. It's an IP from Nintendo. It is a game where you built robots and you fought in arenas. It was
that
really
sounds
cool.
like that game from E3 2014.
No, that was trash. This is cool. They should bring it back. Custom Robo, look it up, guys. It's a cool game, and it would be great if Nintendo brought it back. Cubivores, another cool game.
True. Yeah. Jerry Toden just said that Bravely Default has been teased, and that's kind of true in their Twitter when they showed the main character
they did do that.
With the Switch. So, but I don't think that'll be next year because they're already working on, as we said, Octopath Traveler. I'm fairly certain that's the same team. So maybe 2019 we'll see a Bravely Default 3, or maybe they'll release Bravely Default 1 and 2 on the Switch.
They could also there could be Paper Mario, Luigi's Mansion.
I think it's maybe a bit too early for Paper Mario because they just came out with one of those on the Wii U.
Unless they reuse the same engine, but
yeah, which would be nice because that engine was amazing. But please bring back RPG.
I would
stop
love
it with this.
I would love to see like a Luigi's Mansion, but like gritty.
I want
like
a paper
gritty,
Luigi,
like Resident Evil style Luigi's Mansion. I'm not saying like with butter stuff, but you know, like really delve into like the scary, like make it scary, make it like in your face. Luigi's Mansion.
I just think if they just made, I don't know, I'd just like it if they go back to the original formula of the original Luigi's Mansion. I don't think they really need to. I don't know if I really want Luigi's Mansion to be a scary game. Like, maybe a little bit, maybe some jump scares, but I don't know. Wasn't there that rumor that they had Luigi's Mansion 3 and it was like all super graphics for the Switch? Way back when the NX was...
Yeah, I heard about a rumor about Luigi's Mansion 3. I don't remember the
details. Maybe that's true and it's just coming out this year.
Yeah. I never beat the Luigi's Mansion sequel on 3DS. I had it, but I told some of you guys
my problem with that game is it's too level based.
Because families.
I feel like the levels themselves are really cool. Yeah, the levels themselves were really cool because they had a lot of different themes and it felt more varied. But it was very mission based, which I don't like. I felt the original Luigi's Mansion was a lot better in that aspect. Just do one big mansion that has multiple cool, different looking areas.
Yeah, but going back to Luigi's Mansion quickly, because like you guys are talking about it. Yeah, like Jerry Toden saying, Luigi's Mansion 3 using full resources of the Switch like the first did on the GameCube. Yeah, it would be amazing. Like, when I say like in your face, what I really mean is like atmospheric. Like I'm not saying I need like, you know, maybe soul sucking, but like, you know, just the atmosphere of Luigi's Mansion was really good, and they could pull off something similar on the Switch, perhaps better.
Yeah. They could do some cool stuff if they made it Unreal Engine 4, use some cool lighting effects and smoke effects and stuff like that. They could do some cool stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot they could do. It would be really, really awesome. Yeah, so, who was it that was asking about Virtual Console? Okay, Byron was asking about GameCube maybe existing, GameCube Virtual Console coming to the Switch, and Lil Willy Day is saying that, yeah, that he was pretty sure that Nintendo was releasing GameCube games on the NVIDIA Shield in China. That is true.
I thought it was Wii games.
No, it's not GameCube.
Or was it both?
Right? No, it is. I heard headlines for GameCube and Wii, but I saw no GameCube games, unless you're referring to Twilight Princess, which is.
I think it's the Wii version, though.
Right. I mean, it's technically Wii version. They're probably customizing the controls so you don't have to use motion either. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that may be where the games.
So the Wii version had that weird
Princess, but I think it's Wii. The only two games that I know there was like 3 games, but I know 2 of them were Galaxy and Twilight Princess, and they were HD versions. Yeah. So the Switch can definitely run like Wii games. Like it has the controls, right? And the only issue for GameCube Virtual Console is that the Switch doesn't have analog triggers like the GameCube did. Can you work around that? You can, but it requires effort. And I don't know if Nintendo's willing to do that, so we'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
I want to see
They'll probably just have they'll just have workarounds for the normal controllers. I mean, you can button map it to different things, like the right stick, and for people who don't want to use that, just plug in the GameCube adapter and go ham on it.
Yeah.
So I definitely think they'll. I
could work,
don't think there's anywhere they're gonna be like, yeah, and no controllers work for GameCube Virtual Console except GameCube controllers. Like, there's nowhere they're gonna do that. But I think they might be like positioned as it works best with GameCube controllers.
Like, I agree with you. I mean, you can already use GameCube controllers on the Switch, so for sure that'll be available. But they have to have another workaround. They can't just be the only way to play GameCube Virtual Console games.
For sure.
Like, technically, the GameCube didn't have clickable sticks, so one potential way they could maybe, you know, fix or remedy the lack of analog triggers is that if you want to get that double press, you click the sticks or something, right? Or maybe when you click the sticks, you get the full press, but if you want the subtle press, you press the sticks. Which may be kind of shoddy, but it would technically work.
Wait, the GameCube also didn't have double bumpers, so maybe one bump, the first set of bumpers would be small press, and the second set would be hard press.
Well, and
then they'll have the L button as right click.
So there are options, there are workarounds, but you have to program the workarounds, which is a little bit more effort. But it could be done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, Joshua. I remember the boat for the 3DS.
I don't know what that is.
The boat for the 3DS. So the 3DS, there's a lot of like talk back when the 3DS was first out about like having a second analog stick or slider. So Nintendo came out with a boat. Like, it was this giant piece of plastic that you put your 3DS into, and it made it like this big. And there is like an additional slider like over here in an
oh yeah, position. Yeah, I know about that. I never heard anybody call it the boat.
Yeah, we called it the boat. We called it the boat.
I never had one of those.
Yeah.
Never used one of those.
I never used it either. I never felt like I needed it, to be honest. Especially since for me, like, I was always able to use the touchscreen as a second analog stick. I was always
really?
Able to reach over. Never had a problem.
Never did. Yeah. I never used that. I just kind of dealt with it, especially with like, and I don't know. I mean, like, the N64 didn't have double sticks and it worked fine. You just L targeted every time you wanted to move around.
Whoa.
If you wanted to move the camera.
Yeah. Pop Slayer was talking about, I guess Luigi's Mansion again, about having like those horror gameplay elements would have been really cool. But I just saw something from Luwa Deity. He's talking about, well, he literally just said he would like to see Dreamcast Virtual Console, but that would only happen in a perfect world.
Right.
That would probably only happen in a perfect world. But this 2017 for the Switch was pretty perfect, so who knows, right? That would be really cool. Actually,
so.
I've never even heard of that idea before. But Dreamcast Virtual Console, that would be crazy. Can you imagine like Shenmue and like Sonic and like Jet Set Radio? Well, you know, technically also GameCube, whatever. But like, it just that would work. That would be so cool.
Maybe that'd be. Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, depends. Yeah, or Sega could re-release them in a like a Sega Classic games collection. That'd be interesting.
I want Dreamcast Virtual Console. That idea is too sick, man. That is just too sick. There are so many great Dreamcast games that I want to play. I wouldn't need to get a Dreamcast for it. That's for sure. So. Where were we?
We were talking about. What were we talking about originally?
I don't know. I mean, I could just get to a lot of the comments in the chat because there's a lot of comments, a lot of.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Pop Slayer. So he wasn't saying Luigi's Mansion horror. He was saying Metroid. Yeah, let me go back and read it. Sorry about that. I'm gonna go back and read what you were saying. Okay. Okay, this is what Pop Slayer said. I have always thought that a horror Metroid would be cool. It's a pipe dream, but think about it. It's a perfect fit. Metroid already has some horror elements, and if you emphasize those a lot more, you can give it the core gameplay elements, and it would be cool. As I said, though, it's a pipe dream. Yeah, I mean, I've always thought that horror, like, it would be interesting. Like, it would definitely be a really, like, Metroid is already a little scary, but like, pushing it a little bit further into that horror area. Not too. I think you can't go super far. Like, I don't think Metroid should ever turn into like zombie blood and guts like bursting from your stomach and like like teeth falling and bones cracking, like not like sorry, hoping that wasn't too visceral for anyone, but like not that bad, but a little bit more. I could see that, I think that would be great. That would be one of a few ways to take, sort of add an extra refreshing spin to the Metroid series. I would love that. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Good idea.
You could definitely get the jump scare element in there. You just walk, because
it's already there.
Metroid has a lot of
powers popping out in Prime 1.
Metroid has a lot of dead
invisible.
Right, Metroid has a lot of dead bodies everywhere that you can go scan. What if you're just going and you're scanning a dead body and all of a sudden an alien just pops out of it and attacks you? Like, that'd be terrifying. So, yeah. I think it could definitely work.
Yeah, psychological horror, that's what you're saying, as you're saying, Pops, that would be special. Speaking of psychological horror, though, what if we get Eternal Darkness, like an Eternal Darkness remake or a new Eternal Darkness from Nintendo? That's a whole other game. Like I said, man, there's a lot of Nintendo games that Nintendo has in their bag of magic. They could just, there's this IP, their
Nintendo vault.
This IP, yeah, like their vault is huge, bro. There's so many games. We're not even talking about games back in the 80s and 90s, right? We're just talking about games in the 21st century. Like, there's a whole bunch of other franchises out there that could be used. It's obscene. It really is.
Yeah.
There's just there's so much potential. It's crazy. Let's move on to the next topic. I'll be going back through the chat in a bit, but I want to talk a little bit about Pokemon, because there are some Pokemon rumors. So, there was the rumor about Pokemon maybe coming out right at the end of 2018, but maybe more likely coming out early 2019. But also that the game may have like an Italian sort of influence potentially, and it's suggesting it's a new generation, right? Not going back to Kanto or anything like that. And then there's the other whole Unreal rumor. Oh, there's a lot of rumors, but let's first, I guess, just talk about. We've already kind of talked about Pokemon maybe making it, right? So let's talk more about the Pokemon Unreal stuff. That's another rumor, that Pokemon is using the Unreal Engine. Because there was some... who was it? Was it Game Freak? No, it wasn't Game Freak. It was Monsters, Inc. No, not Monsters, Inc. Creatures, Inc. I think.
Monsters, Inc.
I think it... You know what I'm talking about, though, Brandon, right? Like, there's like a... Yeah. Like, and they...
Creatures Inc. who they in their job listing site, they had a picture of them making Pikachu in Unreal Engine 4, and I think in some form of Blender as well. So which makes sense because Creatures Inc. is well known for helping on making Pokemon models. So if they're using Unreal Engine 4 for the new Pokemon game, it would make sense that they were using that to make Pokemon models as they were showing. Right. They specifically asked for help with people who know how to use Blender and Unreal Engine 4 and stuff like that.
So here's the thing about that. While it's cool and that does suggest Unreal, that also suggests maybe that the game is not that far along. Because if they're asking to hire, they're trying to hire people now or not too long ago to make models. Does that, what does that mean about where the game is at in terms of development, Like, like this should be the fight, like they should be close, you know what I mean? At the same time though, if they have the main game engine running and there's so many Pokemon models out there, if all they need to do is, bring over a lot of the other Pokemon, because there's over 800 right now. If it's a new generation, it might even hit 1,000. Like, there's a lot of Pokemon models out there. So maybe they just need help putting in, like, transitioning the old Pokemon Gen, whatever, Sun. I don't even remember. What gen is it now? 7? 8?
8, I think.
No.
I think 7. Gen 8 would be next gen. It's 7 now, but if it's a new gen, it'd be 8.
But let me rephrase, because I feel like I wasn't clear. I think it's possible that maybe the team is, just using them to get Gen 7 Pokemon transitioned over to Generation 8, you know, with the Unreal Engine, and that most of the game is almost done. That is a possibility, but I also think that maybe if they're doing high ranks now, that they're really not that far along. That's another possibility. What do you guys think, Brandon? What do you think? Do you think that rumor suggests that the game is closer to coming out, or later to coming out, or not really either?
I don't think it really suggests either of them. I mean, it's the same kind of thing when people were complaining about Xenoblade 2, and they were talking, and the developers were sending out updates about what they were doing with the music and stuff. Like, oh, they should already have the music for the game done by now. They should have they should have a lot of the voice acting done by now, and they're saying they're just starting, and it was like March or something. So they got that done in plenty of time. So I don't think it necessarily means that, because we don't know how much other stuff they've already done. If they have pretty much the entire game finished and they're just making Pokemon models to get it out this year, and doing some final playtesting and stuff, then yeah, it could be fine. But then again, who knows if they could have not been that far. Maybe they're making these, and as long as and the other parts are not as finished as maybe this suggests. It's really hard to say. I don't think it really suggests either one at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you have a good point. Well, I guess we'll see, right? But in terms of the awesomeness of Pokemon using the Unreal Engine, what could that mean? Well, one, if it is running the Unreal Engine, right? Like, forgetting about the models and the hirings, like, that does mean that that's less time making an engine, which does speed up the development process, which does improve the possibility of the game coming out before the end of the year. And that would look pretty sick. I mean, imagine if all the Pokemon models looked like slightly higher res versions of the Pokken fighters. Like, that would be insane, Like, I would love that. Like, I think we all would just, I'm gonna refrain from saying anything too despicable on the podcast. But, it would be awesome. So,
yeah.
What were you going to say?
I'm saying Unreal Engine 4 has some of the best, special effects that would make Pokemon look so cool. Seeing, smoke and sparks coming out of the fire on Charizard's tail, or seeing the cool... Unreal Engine water is best water. So, seeing the water Pokemon shooting out Unreal Engine 4 water. The special effects on Unreal Engine 4 are mind-blowingly cool looking. So to see
Charizard
Pokemon with those kind of special effects, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Inferno Overdrive.
Seeing the smoke and the sparks and the particle effects and the really good flame works that they have for Unreal Engine 4. Seeing all these special effects that they have. Unreal Engine 4 is an amazing engine for Pokemon just because they have all of that at their fingertips. And it could look really amazing because, I mean, Pokken Tournament, well, the models are, they're good, they're clean, they're, high resolution, nice high polygon models. They don't have the special effects and the extra details that Unreal Engine 4 models would give them. So it'd be a cut above even what we saw in those games, or in that game.
So I want to sort of transition to another rumor that sort of tags onto this, though, right? So if they're using Unreal, I can imagine the kind of world they can make, right? And yeah, it would look really good, especially with all the effects. But there's another rumor, I don't remember exactly, but basically it's kind of like a free roam, real-time fighting engine that this rumor talks about. And it's not necessarily clear if it would be replacing the turn-based style that we already have for Pokemon, the tried-and-true style that everyone loves, or if it's just like an additional extra sort of fighting style. I'm not really sure how that is. I honestly don't even want to believe the rumor because it doesn't sound that good to me. But I do love the idea of Pokemon becoming real time. Now, hold on. I know that for some people that maybe seem a little crazy, right? But I think if done right, it could be really cool, and it could only add to the fighting engine. I'm not saying they should abandon, all of the all of the components that make the Pokemon battle system great. Keep EV training, typing, moves, items, all that stuff, abilities, everything. But what if you switch from turn-based to real-time, so kind of like a Xenoblade style, where, in Xenoblade you have auto-attacks, so maybe the Pokemon start doing auto-attacks, and the speed stat would no longer control how you interact within a turn, but it determines how fast you can move around in the map, And then moves could all be your arts, like in Xenoblade, and then switching Pokemon could all be like when you switch your blades. And I don't know, like that would be, it would be awesome. I don't know if they would do that.
That would be really, really cool.
And it would need to be executed really well to facilitate all the really interesting quirks and nuances to the Pokemon battle system. But, you know, maybe they are thinking about doing something as drastic like that. I'd be okay with it, but I know there's a lot of people that aren't. People are afraid of change, and there's a huge competitive scene with Pokemon, so changing the fighting engine is kind of a touchy subject. So but there are some rumors suggesting that there could be changes like that, so we'll see.
Yeah, it could be, and I definitely agree that would be amazing. It definitely get me into Pokemon, even more than this next game probably would. Because as you guys probably know, if you follow this podcast for a while, I've never played a Pokemon game other than Stadium, which I really liked. Also, for the speed stat, it would be interesting if, because, auto text charge arts, that's how Xenoblade works. Speed stat maybe could be that the arts charge with less hits. That'd be nice. Or the auto attacks go faster. Like you could pull off auto attacks faster. That'd be nice. Just a little idea there. But as far as that working, that'd be great. That'd be a good in-between, because what I've always wanted is kind of a Pokken tournament, but in an open world. So if you want it, but Pokemon's an RPG, so that kind of negates that. So if you go with the Xenoblade style, you can keep RPG elements while also having cool real-time combat, which could pull a lot of new players in. But yeah, of course, there's the long-standing players who would rage over that. So I don't know, maybe they would have that as an option?
I mean, I'm gonna say right now that abandoning the Pokemon fighting engine would be a bad idea. Abandoning it would be bad. But an addition, right? Well, it would be a crazy addition, changing the turn-based to real-time, but they would need to keep everything else that makes the Pokemon fighting engine so great, because there's a lot to it. And I'm a competitive Pokemon player, so I understand all of that, and like there's a lot to it. And if they were to abandon that, that would be bad. But like I said, if they did what I just described, I think it would still be possible to have it still feel entirely like Pokemon, still have all the nuance, but it would also make it feel completely fresh and new at the same time. I don't know, it's just an idea, like, because I like it the way it is. If they don't change it, I won't be upset. But I do want this Pokemon Switch game to be a departure. I do want it to be more than just an HD version of Sun and Moon. So, we'll see. And there are rumors that back that up, though. There are rumors that suggest that after seeing the success of Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, the Pokemon Company and Game Freak, they really want to push the boundaries with this next Pokemon. And if that's actually the case, if they actually want to push those boundaries, that also kind of makes it less likely that the game would make it out by the end of 2018, because if you're going to push the boundaries like Breath of the Wild, that takes time. You got nothing to add, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, personally, going from my own bias, if they announced that they were changing the battle style to a Xenoblade style battle style, it'd be hype level, 100 out of 10. Like, it'd be insane. I'd be so down for that. But you gotta consider there's the, competitive community, so I don't know, maybe they'd have, like, an option for normal battles? Maybe they have two different versions, one's normal battles and one's not. That'd be interesting.
Real-time rock, paper, scissors fighting engine, some people think would just be like an additional thing that's not a part of the main engine. Which is likelihood, right, actually, because almost every generation Pokemon has like another battle style. Like their one generation was rotation, another it was triple battles, and then they had like last generation it was battle royales. So they do have an other fighting style introduced in every generation that's like an option, but it's not the main option. So that's more likely what this rumor is about, if assuming it's even true.
Could be.
So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things being said in the chat, and I really want to get back to it. If you have any other final thoughts on the Pokemon topic, Brandon, by all means, go to it now while I look at the chat, because there's a lot of things that were said, a lot of cool stuff.
The last idea I wanted to throw out, which is kind of crazy and ridiculous, probably not what they're doing, is they could have one. They always have red, blue, X and Y. What if they have one that is the one that's the normal standard battle system, and then the other version is kind of the new real-time RPG, like Xenoblade style. I don't think that's what they would do, but I would be down for it for sure.
Yeah, well, you know, I think it should be noted, though, that you should give a Pokemon game a try with this fighting engine. There's a lot to it, man. It's really good. So, man, you guys are the chat is lit tonight. Like, it is lit. This is hard for me to keep up with. I'm not gonna lie. But let's see. Okay, so Kimishima came in. He's asking about what topics are we talking about. Yeah, right now we're talking about the Pokemon battle system. Rumored changes. We'll see. You know, having a bit of a Pokken mix into it. Like, who was it that was talking about maybe making it a little bit more like 1000-Year Door? KRS2, making them more interactive like 1000-Year Door, the Paper Mario from the GameCube. Maybe, yeah, maybe just including some context-sensitive situations. You don't have to drastically change the battle system, but just adding more things to it. I think...
Yeah, if they had... The timing elements of 1000-Year Door would be pretty cool. You know, when you're trying to pull back and you're trying to hit... You got to pull back the stick and time it right to hit your hammer. You got to press A when you're jumping and things like that. To counter that, though, Jerry Tone, I think, actually raised a very good point. I'm sorry. Well, Jerry Tone, it is a good point, but I was actually referring to LSU Syndical's point. He was saying that he likes the Pokemon battle system since it can be played easily while doing other activities. So if you're like a Pokemon player who likes EV training and stuff, you can literally hold your 3DS in one hand and just like go back left and right as you're running down a path to hatch a whole bunch of eggs to get really good Pokemon. So that's true, and a lot of times Pokemon games have an L equals A option, so it allows you to basically play the game with one hand. And if they were to change the engine to the way we're talking about, like adding real-time functionality or context-sensitive situations like 1000-Year Door, that's gone. So that is, you know, a great point. I guess
you're not a Pokemon player, so like there's a lot of Pokemon
but how many
fans
people
that
actually
love
do
playing
that?
one hand?
Like, I imagine most casual players do not
You'd be
EV train
surprised,
that.
guys in the chat who play Pokemon. How often have you guys played Pokemon with one hand while you're just breeding or training?
I don't know.
It's one of those things that I don't think is so major. I don't think if they took it out, it would be game breaking or anything like that. But it is kind of a nice thing. So
I don't know. I feel like that kind of mechanics are so tedious. So tedious. I don't even like. I feel like maybe they should make a more streamlined way of doing stuff like that instead of worrying about, you know, not being able to as easily grind. Why not just make it more streamlined so you don't have to grind as much? I feel like it's better to refine mechanics instead of worrying about getting rid of them.
Well, I mean, you know, every generation, Pokemon, I feel like Game Freak has made it a little easier to EV train, to breed better Pokemon. They have sort of streamlined the process every generation a little bit more and more. So it's not like they haven't streamlined it. It is still, there is a bit of a grind to it. That is still a thing. That is still a big part of Pokemon. So maybe they can make it a little bit less grindy. So, you know.
Yeah, maybe they could have actually special activities that allow you to do stuff like extra modes.
They do have that.
Extra fun thing to do. Yeah.
It exists, but you still have to do it to a decent amount of it's gotten better every generation. It could, and I imagine it'll get a little bit even easier next generation with the Switch. So I want to move on down to comments.
Hi.
So Sean was saying Metroid is influenced by Alien. Yeah. It is. That's fun fact. Metroid is influenced by Alien. That kind of goes on to the whole horror aspect in Metroid. Alien's pretty scary, so you know, to really take advantage of that would be. It would fit Metroid perfectly. I would love to see that. It's a great point, Sean. So Byron was saying that he likes the rumor that the theme in Pokemon Switch is traditional versus innovation. Yeah, that was part of the rumor. It points back to the real world where fans either prefer the traditional battling or the new battling. Wow, that would be... Whoa! You know, with like what we're talking about now about old style versus a newer style, that's kind of a crazy idea. I don't know if that's what direction they'll take, but it's a
What
fun
is
thought.
it? I kind of was reading something else.
So there's a rumor that, as Byron was saying, that the big theme in this Pokemon game is going to be tradition versus innovation. And he was just kind of relating it back to what we're talking about, how fans are going to be either, A, we prefer the old fighting style, and if there is a new fighting style, there'll be that as well. So it's like innovation versus tradition.
I wonder if that supports my kind of off-the-wall theory about them having one version that's, you know, maybe they have one version that's innovative and one version that's more traditional. You just buy whichever one you want.
I don't think that the gameplay would be different between versions. No, you would have a few different Pokemon, maybe a couple different characters.
I guess, but that's kind of what they've always done. If they really want to break away and do something new and major,
I just don't
like
think it's a
being
good
the
idea
reason.
to create two games coming at the same time that have two different gameplay styles. Because then you're literally forcing...
Hey, but it's a good way to get people to buy both versions. I'll tell you that much.
People will be pissed. People will be mad. I
don't know why they would be mad. I mean, they already have two versions. I don't know. I mean, essentially, they're not that different to begin with.
Think of it like this, Brand. That's like saying they should have come out with Xenoblade 2A and Xenoblade 2B. Xenoblade 2A is the one we've enjoyed, and then Xenoblade 2B is turn-based fighting. Like...
I mean, I wouldn't be mad about that.
I think that'd be dumb.
Why, though? They already have two... But the difference is they always come out with two Pokemon games. So, right. I mean, at that point, you're already...
essentially the same game, though. They're just minor differences. Minor content
that
differences.
Pisses me off, the fact that they're minor differences.
But the thing is, the point about it is you pick one, and it's not supposed to necessarily encourage you to buy two games. Some people do, but most people don't. It encourages trading between the two versions. Because a big part of Pokemon is trading. That's the whole point of it.
Yes. I feel like they should do something to differentiate the two versions more.
I don't.
I don't know.
I don't, because I don't want to feel like I have to buy both
two
versions.
versions of the same thing. I don't know. I've always wanted them to do something different that makes the two versions stand out. That makes me actually want to play both of them.
But have you bought any Pokemon game as of late?
I've never bought any Pokemon games as of ever.
Yeah, so... I don't know, Sean. Not Sean. Brandon.
Yeah, I'm speaking as a purely outside perspective.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think fans would like it. I don't like it.
Well, I think the Pokemon community is too stuck in its roots. I think they need to be more willing to branch out, try new things.
No. No.
Pokemon will never evolve. It will always be stuck. It's doomed. Pokemon, doomed.
No. No.
I'm just kidding, obviously.
I do agree that Pokemon needs a bit of a shakeup, but I don't think creating two different versions that have different gameplay, making them basically two different games, like, entirely, I don't think that's a good idea. I think there'd be too much backlash. I think it'd be dumb. Like, why are you going to force people to buy two games? And if it's going to be on Switch,
well, you're not.
It's probably going to be $60 games. That's $120 to get the full.
Well, you're not
Pokemon
forcing
experience.
anybody to buy. I mean, they're the same game. They just have slightly different ways of playing. Like, at the end of the day, I mean, you could buy both if you want both. The point kind of is
with that is this, though. Competitive play. Then you can no longer play between two different versions. Then you're creating two different metagames. That's not going to work. It won't work. It will not work. That's not going to work. I feel
like the competitive scene is holding back Pokemon too much. I feel like they need to make competitive scenes. Sure, have the competitive scene, but you don't need to make every new game fit with the competitive scene if you already have so many games that fit with that. Start branching out. Have two competitive scenes. Have two competitive scenes. Why not?
Well, I mean, it's not like there aren't different battle styles already in Pokemon.
Yeah.
And it doesn't... There's only one competitive... There's only one, like, official, like, competitive format, and then everything else is just sort of done through grassroots and stuff. As a competitive Pokemon player who's played the games over the years, I don't see that working out in the community. I don't think people being happy about that. I don't think it makes sense.
I don't understand, though,
I do
because
agree with you,
if you have the one version that has the same gameplay, then just use that one for the competitive mode. Because if they're both the same other than the gameplay style, why does it matter?
Then only one version is compatible for the competitive game. What if people want the other version, and what if they want to get the Pokemon that are exclusive to that version?
Get rid of the exclusive Pokemon. Just have different battle styles.
I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree on this one.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that's what they're gonna do. I just think that's what I want them to do, because obviously they're going to worry about the competitive scene, and fans are gonna worry about it too much.
It's big.
I just think that I think parts of the competitive scene are potentially holding back Pokemon in its innovation. Because people want things to be the exact same every time so that they can use the exact same form of competitive play, but you can't keep a game going the exact same and not innovate.
Okay, no, here's the thing though. Every generation, Pokemon does try to change up. They try to change up the competitive play. In fact, every year they change up the competitive format depending on what's allowed. But every generation they do incorporate a different mechanic. So I just think this time around they should incorporate another mechanic, but maybe this mechanic's a bit more drastic than previous mechanics. But it's still in addition to what's already there. It's just stacking on to a tried and true formula that works, but it's also evolving at the same time. I think the idea of dividing the user base with two different gameplay styles is a bad idea. I don't think it'll work at all. I don't think it'll work. I don't think it makes good business sense. I just don't.
Maybe not.
Yeah, but like I said, we can agree to disagree. So
yeah, for sure.
We'll see what happens. I mean, you don't think it's gonna happen, maybe you just
I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm just thinking that's what I want to happen.
But then you have to buy 2 Pokemon. Okay, well, we've already agreed to disagree on this.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Let's just move forward. So I was trying to get through all the chat. There's so much, guys. I'm sorry, I can't. There's too much. What is Nintendo without innovation? Low Whaley Daddy said. It's a good point. Joshua Jones said Pikachu never evolved and is the strongest. In the anime, which is not canon, which totally doesn't matter. So, no. I don't know. That's funny, though. LSU Cynical is saying that maybe keep making the original type games, but also evolve with a deep story in other games. They could loosely follow the anime and the innovative type games and remake old games. I mean, that's definitely different for sure. I like I said, I don't. Maybe I am a stickler here, and I feel like there's some things that shouldn't change with Pokemon, right? But maybe you guys are right.
I have maybe a better idea is instead of releasing these 2 different innovative games and normal games in the same as the same game. What if they just do as a what if they release they trade off. 1 year it's a very innovative form of Pokemon, and then the next time it's a very traditional form of Pokemon, and they keep playing off of that. Kind of like how you got Forza Motorsport, which is the normal version that comes out, and then you have Forza Horizon. One of them's very arcadey with Forza Horizon, then you have the very traditional like super simulation with the original version of Forza. Maybe they go that same route, and then 1 year they have innovation, and the next year, or the next entry is more of a traditional type. I think that could work even better than my other idea, actually, because it doesn't. I don't think it puts up the same problems as what you were saying.
I feel like the main game should be like whatever direction the main game is, it should stay in that. I'm saying the direction should evolve, but I don't think they should have literally 2 different styles of game going on, even if it's one and then they take turns. I don't think they should do that. I think if you want to change things up, you just change things up for the next game, and you continue to improve and think about things to refresh the franchise moving forward. I get that's just kind of the way I see it.
At that point, then you can only keep it traditional or not. It doesn't.
Well, okay, tradition. Okay, the theme of tradition versus innovation is going to be within the context of the story. So normally when they talk about theme, like that's what most people are interpreting that as. That's like if looking at how Pokemon games are made, they always come up with a theme for something. So tradition versus theme is not really necessarily about the gameplay. It's about the style.
I know, but I also think Pokemon could... I think definitely Pokemon has room where it could be... I don't know, I think it has a lot of innovation that would make the game really cool. So I think if they just never do anything with it and completely stick with the traditional gameplay, I think you're losing a lot of possibility for another really good form of Pokemon. That wouldn't replace the old one, but it could also be there as well.
So, the way I look at it, we're still talking about this, but the way I look at it is like this. Look at Breath of the Wild. It changed a lot, but it still feels like Zelda. Right? Like, the fighting style, there is some differences. Like, it doesn't play exactly, in terms of the action, it doesn't play exactly like other Zelda games, but you still lock onto an enemy, you still can jump left and right and dodge back and forward, you can still slash your enemy and do your jump slash and do your kill strike, but there's a lot more you can do around that, and there's more scope to it. So I can see the Pokemon battle system being kind of similar, where you have this engine, and they sort of reimagine it, but it's still the same engine, but it's reimagined, it still has all the nuance and backlog of moves, abilities, and items, and different type variants and such, but they find ways to sort of, change it around, make it deeper, make it more expansive. That, I think, is possible. And what I was trying to describe earlier with that real-time style, that would be one possibility. But maybe they don't do that. Maybe they're just gonna, if it's not broken, don't fix it. That is a likely thing that for Pokemon Company to do, because that's what they've always done. They've always just had minor improvements every game. So, yeah, we can argue about what they should do, but what will they do is probably the better question,
Yeah, unfortunately, what I think they will do is probably just not much.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like I don't know, I feel like it kind of holds back the Pokemon franchise.
Cynical is my first starter, by the way, so I'm right there with you, Joshua. LSE Cynical, good name. Yeah.
I mean, technically, the Zelda formula was never broken either. They just wanted to do something different with it. Right, so I mean, if they have that same mindset, if Nintendo had that same mindset, it would never have gone into Breath of the Wild. Would never have existed. So I feel like the Pokemon Company has the chance to make something as unique as Breath of the Wild, and if they kind of stick with this more traditional thing, I feel like that will never happen.
So all I'm saying is this: if you look at Mario Odyssey, look at Breath of the Wild, the way they play, what you do in them. It's still Mario Odyssey is still a 3D Mario platformer. Zelda's still an action adventure game with puzzles in it. Like, that hasn't changed. And Pokemon, I still think is gonna be like, an RPG that takes advantage of the rock paper scissors sort of style. Like, I don't think that's gonna change, but they may find ways to really, take it to another level. Maybe. So I don't know. I think we've kind of gone back and forth about this topic. I feel like we should kind of move forward a little bit. But maybe, the Direct's probably is going to happen hopefully this week. So, do you have any final comments or predictions for the Directs to kind of, I guess, end the discussion, Brendan?
Yeah. I think that we're going to see more older IPs come back. I think there are going to be more older IPs to come back, because that's kind of maybe F-Zero, yeah. Because I think they said they wanted to do more stuff that they haven't really touched in a while, more IPs that they haven't done as much with lately. So I think they'll go back into their back catalog a bit, and we'll see a couple of older games make a return.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to see that. I mean, we brought up some potential candidates like Eternal Darkness, like Luigi's Mansion. Those are some potential IPs that could come out. F-Zero. I would love to see a Wave Race. There's so many different things. For me, I think we're going to see trailers for multiple really big Nintendo games that we have not seen gameplay trailers for. So that includes Fire Emblem, but also includes maybe Metroid, maybe Pokemon, but it could also be something else. I'm pretty damn confident that there's going to be a few other big Nintendo games that have not been confirmed for 2018 that will be confirmed for 2018. I'm willing to bet money on that, actually. Like, I'm not saying I will bet money, I'm just saying that's how confident I feel that there will be, you know, there will be some big 2018 announcements. Like, it's not just going to be Fire Emblem and get Kirby and Yoshi. There's going to be way more than that. And there's also made some pretty key third-party announcements. I think that's what we're going to see in the Direct.
Yeah,
what games exactly? Cool. There's so many different options, as we kind of highlighted throughout this discussion, because there's no way every game we mention in this discussion is going to come up during the Direct. That is not going to happen. So, some games are going to be there, some aren't. Which ones will they be? We don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah. So, you know, anyways, guys, I think we had a pretty good discussion. A lot of you guys came in. I'm glad you guys came in. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, next week is going to be crazy, I think, because the Nintendo Direct probably will have happened. So stay tuned for that. You know, I have a few videos planned. I'm working on a Smash Bros. Video. And if you guys have not subscribed to Brandon from WhatAboutNintendo, please do so right now. His channel is great. He does tons of news and live streams. I mean, you know, sell your channel, Brandon. You do it.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Yeah, for sure. I do a lot of content. Typically I make, you know, at least one news video Monday through Friday, and I try, the new formula I'm trying to do is at least 1 to 2 live streams per week, and I'm about to launch very soon, either sometime, you know, this week or next week, or, you know, this next month. I'm going to be relaunching my gaming channel as well. So a lot of new content coming from me. But yeah, thanks for the little shout out, I guess.
Oh, of course. So yeah, guys, again, thanks for coming. Like I said, there will be a timestamp for each topic. I'm now seeing Kimishima saying, "Oh, I'm back," as I'm ending the discussion. But
oops.
Yeah, I expect the Direct to be announced tomorrow. I think there's gonna be a lot of crazy stuff this week.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not, though. It could be next week. So, like, you know, don't kill me if I'm wrong. Like, I don't know. I think it'll be announced tomorrow. We'll see what happens. And yeah, guys, it's been fun. So make sure you subscribe to Brandon from WhatAboutNintendo. The link to his channel is in the description below. And there will be timestamps for each topic after a few hours. You know, maybe check by morning, there'll be timestamps for each topic. And yeah, well, the next podcast probably will be Monday, but depending on the situation, there may be another discussion about the Direct coming earlier. So we'll see. And I know a few of you guys, I saw in the chat, but like I said, there's so much conversation happening that I couldn't keep up with all of that. I saw you guys talking about, you know, maybe someone else guesting on the show. I saw some of you guys saying some stuff. I will hit you both up, and we'll talk about it, alright? So I did take notes. I did. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.
Bye, guys.
Wait, okay. Kimishima's constructive criticism. Alright. I'm waiting for constructive criticism.
Always love some constructive criticism. Try to build yourself up better. After this. He's just gonna roast you. You're gonna be roasted and toasted with constructive criticism.
His constructive criticism was Joshua Jones saying, "Sounds good, bro. Peace, guys. Yeah, have a good night, bro."
See ya.
I'm literally waiting for Tatsuya Kimishima to give me the constructive criticism. I'm waiting for the Nintendo CEO, the big presidente, the big leader. As soon as I'm gonna wait like another minute before I end the. Oh, okay, yeah, Lowly Deity. I think I can message you on YouTube, actually. Yeah, I'll message you guys on YouTube. Or Twitter. Oh, so this is. Oh, I see the criticism now. Do you think on the side you can have a list of topics, and when you're done talking about it, you can cross it off? Actually, yeah, I could. I could do that. I did kind of clear up the side area there. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I will either hit up the guys that I saw talking about it, Joshua, Willy Data. I will hit you guys up on either Twitter or YouTube about guesting possibilities. And yeah, Kimishima, that's actually a good point. I will look into having a dynamic topic set up so we can see what's going on. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Figure out how to. Where's my mouse? There it is. All right.
I always hate doing that.
Yeah.